when you fragment yourself, a part of you is like removing from you.
Yeah.
So it becomes like a little ghost.
Yeah.
Right? So it's energy just floating.
Yeah.
And the only way that energy can transmute or transcend is by coming back into the vehicle that allows that to happen.
Yeah.
And that is the body. And so
Yeah.
that's why we do that. We have to go
Yeah.
through that, bring that energy back in, and be present, validated, and all that. And in that moment, it's shifting, transcending, and then at that point, the magic happens, right? So it's really powerful stuff. I can't stop saying that.
Yeah. Oh my God. I've said that. And again, I'm going to share another powerful moment was right after I did that private session, even though we were working in a group, but there are like one-on-one sessions as well with facilitators. I broke a glass.
Yeah.
And as that was the exact day where you said, I really want to break this glass so I can show you guys what a fragment and a split looks like.
Yes.
Because you're a glass and then it breaks and you're like those little pieces of glass.
Yeah.
And after that work, I came down and I needed to use the bathroom, did not see there was a glass under me, kicked it. And the way that it broke into like, you know, perfect 3-piece and then little pieces, I looked at you and I was like, Norma, there's your glass.
Yeah,
it
was,
broke.
You know that was your glass, right?
Yeah.
It was right on your seat.
That was my glass. I didn't even realize that. That was literally my glass on my seat.
Yes,
and it broke and I was like, you know, I interpreted that as that was the pattern breaking.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, like I'm literally getting goosebumps as I'm talking about this because I'm like, this worked. And also yesterday when we were ecstatic dancing, this bracelet from like, it's like a family heirloom, it literally broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I put it back together, but it's like, it fell the moment that I was thinking about my family lineage.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like this is why you call it cycle breaking,
Yes.
right? And we call ourselves cycle breakers because if we want to talk about spirituality and like going higher, which by the way, my audience are all spiritual. So we talk about star seeds and spirit guides and like angels. So it's like when you look at that aspect, right? And tell me if you agree with this, but it's like we have been, our souls came to this lineage for a reason.
Yes, yes. I mean, absolutely. That's what I was saying. And that's where we have to be careful to make sure that we don't use those spiritual truths to deny ourselves and then make it a spiritual bypassing, right? Because that also is also traumatic for the child. But yes, there is a moment in which by you validating and by you doing all that you're going into those spiritual truths, and those truths can be helpful because, for example, let's say that this pattern has been across through generations, right? Where they suppress their excitement, their happiness, and they had to keep quiet. And that's generation after generation. And you're the one that is integrating and bringing the joy back and bringing the fun back, and you just break the cycle. But what happens is that when you start looking at a family pattern as a family pattern, it kind of helps to soothe your pain. It makes you more like capable, like, oh, I got a mission, right? And so it creates more of a willingness to go and do the work because now you see yourself kind of like a rescuer for the whole family.
Yeah.
So it adds power to your healing, but it has to happen at the right moment. But if you start with that at the beginning, that would be a spiritual bypassing the child. And that's
I did that.
Yeah, so you had to start by going deep first before you can access those truths from higher dimensions, which are important. All of them are real.
So true.
Just like past, present, and future, everything's coming together at the same time, right? The same thing here. Those truths are for each one of those dimensions, and they're coexisting. But if you bring a truth, which happens a lot, they bring a spiritual truth from the 12th dimension into the 3rd dimension, and that creates more pain. Versus, you know what, let that dimension be there, let that truth be there, I can access this truth, let me process this, and then once I am in a better state, I can access that truth, and that truth meets me here versus meeting me here. Yeah. So yes, I mean, this is very, very spiritual work, by the way.
Yes.
Absolutely, because you also maintain the perspective of the observer.
Yes.
Right? You go into the child, the adult, the observer. Child, adult, the observer.
Powerful,
and so that's what makes it the Trinity, right?
Yes.
The Trinity, mind, body, spirit. It's always the same thing. Yeah. So you're always in the triad.
Yes.
And so that's what makes it more complete on top of that.
Yeah.
Because not only are you breaking integrating the two parts, the protector and the child, right? The father and the son, that's another way to see it.
Yeah.
It's the symbolics It's all over the place. You
much.
just have to understand it. So this is very spiritual work because this symbology is greeting in every culture, every religion has it. It's just that we don't see it, well, in religions, they see it from religious perspective, but when you see it from this inner healing perspective, you always have the key up there. It's just, can I understand it? Yes. Can I understand that those were allegories that I need to translate and interpret to my own journey? Because that's what that is. This is a personal journey that we just the process of putting ourselves together again, literally, piece by piece.
Yeah, and we've been talking so much about the power of shadow work, and it seems like collectively this is what is needed. But why do you think people avoid shadow work? And what do you think are the biggest misconceptions about shadow work that perhaps really makes people feel like, I don't want to do this?
Wow, there's so many ways to answer that question. But the first thing that comes to my mind as that is we live in a society, in a world that has made wrong emotions. What we call negative emotions. We made them wrong and we try to avoid them as much as we can. Like, for example, anger, right? Anger has been made wrong in the world by literally every culture. Yeah. But anger has a purpose. Everything has a purpose, right? Yeah. Fear has a purpose. Anger has a purpose. Sadness has a purpose. And it's when we don't know the purpose or we don't allow the purpose of like your purpose, right? Yeah. Every emotion has a purpose, just like my purpose.
Totally.
Because we make them wrong, we create more pain. And because we create more pain and we don't know how to deal with it, there is a lot of conflict in the world. That's one of the answers. The other one is because we're not emotionally mature or educated. Unfortunately, it's also a generational thing. Our generation, or this new generation, and I can say even my generation because I started only 15 years ago, but I'm part of the old generation which has educated and understand a little bit more to help others, right? But the newest generations, because they're hearing these shadow word phrases and it's part of the reality, it was not part of the reality of our ancestors. Absolutely. Our ancestors' reality, I mean, it's only, we're talking about only 50 years ago. The reality from 50, 60 years ago, my mother is 74, her reality was different than mine. So we had to consider what was happening culturally, what was happening globally at that time of our parents, of our grandparents, and that's the reality. Yeah. So during the war, people is not gonna sit down and go into the inner child, right? They're gonna survive. So we have to also have compassion for that because we're not here to blame the parents, you guys. That's so important, we understand that. A lot of people think that, oh my God, if you do inner child healing, you're gonna blame the parents. You're going to acknowledge that the child had pain. You are going to acknowledge that in order for that pain to happen, there were mistakes made. But we're not here to destroy families. We're not here to blame the parents. We're here to validate the child. Yes. Right? Yes. And so a lot of people don't like doing this because they think I'm going to make my parents wrong.
Yeah. And what if they already held their parents to such a standard and they're like, but I don't want to see my parents in a bad light.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. But by doing that, and again, I tell people the focus is not on the parents, the focus is on the child. Can you see that it hurt when the child scratched the knee? Can you see that it hurt when the child was in bed crying and no one came? Yes. Right? That's what we're here to see. Yeah. We're not here to vilify the parents. We're not here to make enemy of them. No, we're here to see the inner child. We're here to validate the aspect of yourself that needed something and it didn't get it. It couldn't get it. Right? And so we're here to connect with yourself.